When it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing. Getting with the coverage, we loving it all day. Picking up the news, tell us wherever the ball lay. With the NFL, NBA, they box so. Sports news in the hands of a man with fair takes. Tell them, coach, statistics and realness that's being spoke. Either hit it for the win or they hitting the goal posts. Either way, we woke up to the news of the day. Any Kenny could call it, he like to talk it out with Ray. Fast breaks down the lane, they better move out the way, or they pulling from perimeter. Curry bury the trade, yeah, they got it. Woo! Duval with the hottest, Chris and Dev like the master, and mix it up like it's Logic being modest. They been looking for that real, trying to get it feel. Sports podcast, they running back on the real. That's a steal, yeah. They never sick, but they ill. Real sports talk going, deliver, signed and sealed. We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing.
Hey, we are back and we are live. Oh, almost a touchdown to AJ Brown for the Eagles.
Oh, finally, I'm not behind on the stream. Oh yeah, we can talk about the game now.
Even better. But shout out to everybody. Fantasy live in full effect. 2 games tonight. Pigskin pick of my eliminator challenge. I am now dead thanks to the Dallas Cowboys doing what I should have expected them to do. Although all the 2 backup teams I probably would have picked this week would have also lost. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Baltimore, I was looking at y'all, but y'all would have let me down also. So fun times this week. How was everybody's week? How everybody feeling?
I'm all right. Can't complain too much.
Yeah, I'm all right. You know, tough loss. Referees missed the call, but I ain't going to be the big baby about it.
Well, definitely glad to hear that. Eagles with this quarterback sneak, Jalen Hurts is starting to get a couple too many touchdowns. I think I should be straight in this fantasy league, but let me just check in. Yeah, I'm up 162 to 88, and he has Hurts, Higgins, and Goddard, and I have Mixon, so should be good there, barring some catastrophe. But yeah, how y'all looking in fantasy? We got winners, we got losers over there. Dev, how you looking?
I ain't in fantasy this year.
No fantasy for Dev.
Let me tell you how I'm looking. I was going against Keenan Allen this week. Keenan, you saw the performance he had, but he also had a passing touchdown. That ruined it for me. He had 45. That ruined it for me. Everything else, I was in it. It would have been close if he even, had a decent game. I had Amari Cooper. I got Kenneth Walker out of the Eagles defense. I have Cortland Sutton. But it's just Bijan had a terrible game. Tyler Lockett didn't do that much for me. Ridley didn't do that much for me. Justin Fields, he's about to get dropped. He's getting replaced on Wednesday. Fields is done. I have no time. Fields is done. Look, Mike. And look, Mike, if you're listening, I'm a Fields guy. I think the 49ers should have drafted Fields. I think his career would be totally different. It's not all his fault with Chicago, but it's done with him in Chicago, I will say. I don't think that situation is going to last any longer. And I'm a Fields guy. Hopefully he lands on his feet. But on my fantasy team, see you later. You're gone. You're going
out of here. Quick update: 20-3 for the Eagles, showing the NFC East how it's done. But nonetheless, good to see. Everybody's staying healthy. We've had quite a few injuries early in this season, so good to see the best players playing for certain. Speaking of seeing the best players play, I did want to just get everybody's picks. The Eagles game is pretty much in hand. We can pass on that, but the Rams and Bengals game is still pretty competitive. Who do y'all got?
Both of these teams are ugly to me, man. It's like just like going. It's like in high school, you trying to figure out what's ugly chick that's not ugly. Right now, and I I think I'm gonna ride with the Bengals. I feel like the Bengals got a lot to prove, and if the Bengals can't really prove this, they in trouble. So I'm gonna ride with the Bengals.
Chris.
I was going with the Rams. I have no trust or faith in the Bengals right now. I believe Joe Burrow playing these first couple of games has ruined their whole entire season. The entire season. He looks terrible. Well, he looked terrible the first 2 weeks. He's looking decent, but I mean, he doesn't look the same. Doesn't look explosive. Offense doesn't look explosive. They're taking no deep shots. It's just bad football. So I went with the Rams. I trust them more.
I agree. I am leaning with the Rams or siding with the Rams. I haven't figured it out with Cincinnati yet. I know Burrow's not healthy, but he's had good time. Just off. I would have thought they would have definitely implemented more Joe Mixon running early in the season to try and offset the inability or lack of mobility from Burrow. That has not been the case. They have been shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak, with some penalties at some critical moments. Big catch there by Jamar Chase, trying to figure out how to get him involved. So I definitely think Cincinnati is the more talented team. Obviously, I picked Cleveland to win the division, which Deshaun, I
He
challenge
looked
you.
amazing last week, or Sunday at least.
Yeah, we kind of put a challenge out there, Dev and I, and he answered it. He performed well, so good for him. But I'm going to lean LA. I think LA also realizes what San Francisco's doing, and a window was opened up with Seattle's tough loss. So I'm going to lean LA, even though I think Cincinnati's the more talented team. They just haven't been able to put it together yet. So hopefully soon. But I got Cincy for myself. On to sad news. Did anybody watch the Oregon game Saturday?
Yep.
I didn't realize there was so much Colorado hate. Like I saw a lot of the hype. I saw a lot of the hype and the support and the celebrity. So I just thought, people was cool with Coach Prime and the Colorado story until they lost. And boy, has social media been a buzz with haters. So, yep, Oregon did that. Colorado didn't show up. Granted, they played without arguably their best player. A team that I said from the beginning of the season cannot afford injuries. I had questions from the beginning of the season about Travis Hunter playing both ways. I feel both of those things came to fruition, and I still have those same concerns going forward, as well as the offense and defensive line. I do believe that Coach Prime will figure it out and get it together. I just think it's going to take some time for him, and he's going to have to do some more recruiting. I know the number one quarterback went there. I saw an offensive tackle was visiting, so I see what he's doing. I'm optimistic, but as I said, to start the year, I didn't think he was there yet, and I think we saw a glimpse of that. I don't think they're as bad as that game, but they may not have been as good as they've been playing either. So, yeah, that's where we're at. USC up next, but Chris, your thoughts on the Colorado game?
Everything I expected, sadly. I knew Oregon was going to win. Just didn't know they were going to win in that fashion. The big difference between these top teams and teams that are pretty good will always be the trenches. It will always be the trenches. And going into the game, I knew that was Colorado weakness, and it showed. Shador Sanders was constantly harassed. The Oregon offense was just easily moving down the field. So everything I thought that was going to happen actually happened. Surprised that Colorado couldn't get a little consistency on the offensive end. But, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Baker Mayfield just threw a crazy ball down the field because Mike Evans dropped a pass on second down. But everything I thought that was going to happen happened. Colorado, to your point, it's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate, and it's sad to see people hate on a program because of a head coach, but not watching the players and not rooting for the players. And I don't understand the hate. Deion's just being a good coach. We see all the things that are being said, in the media, but nobody sees or talks about everything that's happening, throughout the week for preparation or how he's treating his players or how good they were. I mean, their over-under win on all betting sites was 3.5, and they started off 3-0 after winning, one game last year? Mm-hmm. So you have to commend that. Any other team, any other program that happens, they take one loss and it's not that big of a deal. One loss, and I see people saying, "Oh, you're out of the top 25." Now that the reel's about to happen, like, come on, let's be honest. Y'all love talking about them when they was 3-0. They lost one game, just like all these other top schools are losing games, are not the same. Nobody's talking about Clemson anymore. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the Alabama dynasty is over." So, as much as people want to talk about Colorado, just keep the same energy with all these teams. Like Deion said, keep the same energy with him. This team, year one, I didn't expect that much from them anyway. And go against a top school like Oregon. Like I said, I'm not surprised on them losing at all.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Dev, your thoughts?
People gotta sit here and realize if you thought Colorado was going to go undefeated this year, I don't know what people was thinking. I really don't think, man. Honestly, like Chris said, man, it was bound to happen. They was bound to lose. Everybody thought they was going to lose to TCU, and they bounced back off of that. And everybody was looking for that same bounce back against another high-power team. Oregon is just like Colorado a little bit. They also went in the transfer portal and got some big names that come up Oregon. Bo Nix was not there a year or two ago. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That man has been in college for like forever. So, and to compare him and Shador is like going against forever versus a guy who just really stepped up into this Division I platform. So that's kind of a Bo Nix already got the edge of that anyway. And then Oregon was ranked number 10. You know what I mean? It's like we already knew that Oregon was going to be a high power team. Everybody was just thinking that it was going to be the same episode against the TCU. And like we had talked about when Colorado had beat TCU. TCU lost a lot of players in the draft and inside that transfer portal. They wasn't the same TCU last year. And just like Chris said, man, everybody putting all this hype into talking about, Colorado lost their first game. We ain't heard no smack or no talk where Alabama lost a couple weeks ago. We ain't heard no smack or no talk when Clemson lost just last week or this week. So people got to understand, man, you can't hate Coach Prime for being different, because being different has what got him in this spotlight right now. It's him being different, him being the confident guy that he is. I still believe in Coach Prime. I still believe in Colorado. No, I don't believe Colorado is going to end up in the playoff picture or anything in that nature. But for what they are building, for what they had came from last year, that's a big stepping stone. You have to applaud Colorado for taking that different leap and believing in Coach Prime, and you gotta believe in Coach Prime for him not switching up who he is just because of an ugly loss. He still believes in his philosophy. He still believes in his program. And I think if you're a true supporter behind Coach Prime, man, we still believe. I know I still do.
I definitely still believe. 100%.
No, absolutely. Definitely still believe. I will say, I think this is good for all involved. I think this is good for Colorado. I think this will be good for Coach Prime. And I think ultimately they will be better for it. Oregon laugh now, but let's not kid ourselves. Like, they should have won. They were a 21-point favorite going into the game, and they performed well. Again, Travis Hunter did not play, and Colorado just looked a little flat to me. So I think there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of hoopla in the last couple of weeks with some home games, some late
And
night.
that offensive line is doo-doo too, kind of.
Offensive line definitely is a weakness that I think will continue to get exploited. And that's really going to be a Coach Prime in that offense to figure out how to hide those guys. If it's more screens, if it's more short passes, a power running back would be nice. So I think there's definitely opportunities there in Colorado. And Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, nor was America. So it's just going to take some time. And I think they will continue to put it together. And I think USC is going to be another tough game next week. And I think after that, what's that?
You're supposed to have another tough game. You can't just have a tough game and then tuck your tail and expect to have all these, unnamed schools, man. Go if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
I will say this: no Travis Hunter against UFC. I say UFC. USC is going to be major. Definitely going to be major. I'd love to see him on that big stage. They're going to need him on that big stage, and it's sad that he's not going to be playing.
We agree. We definitely agree on that. Suckers out in Colorado State, but what can you do? So let's get to this week's picks. Chris read off his picks to start the show or before the show started, and we all had the same picks except one. Dev, you went with Tennessee because you didn't believe. Dev, would you like to speak for yourself and your lack of faith in Deshaun Watson?
We all had questions about Deshaun, and I still had questions about Deshaun, and I'm still going to have questions about Deshaun until this season is over with. Is he really the guy that Cleveland paid all this money for? Like I said, I thought Tennessee was going to be a tougher team, more sound, more fundamental, and more defense. But it seems like Tennessee, nobody from Tennessee, not even Mike Vrabel even showed up yesterday at that game. And Cleveland took advantage of Tennessee not being out there. So I got to give my hats off to Deshaun Watson because that was his best game he had in the last year and a half or so. So you got to give him props for that. But I still want to see more before I can actually hop back on Watson bandwagon.
Okay, so you still don't believe. That's fine. Coach Prime has made believers out of lesser. No, I mean, I understand. I get what you're saying. I think part of the issue Tennessee ran into was they probably thought Cleveland would be a little down following the Nick Chubb loss. And listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's the people who cover the running backs, but this Ford kid is making Nick Chubb seem a little expendable.
No.
It's early.
Not at all. Not at all.
With the history of the way the running back position is going and their inability to play and find cheaper, you look at someone like Raheem Mostert, who's cooking. DeAndre Swift got traded. Their cheap running backs are in. And unfortunately, if this continues, Nick Chubb is going to find himself in a tough spot because they paid their quarterback the most guaranteed money ever.
So what about McCaffrey?
You got McCaffrey as a rookie quarterback contract. He has a Nick Bosa contract, but Cleveland has a Myles Garrett contract. So at some point, Amari Cooper, and they need another receiver. They don't got to go get a big name, but they need somebody else that can catch the ball.
Because Elijah Moore ain't. I see why the Jets got rid of him so quick. I'm like, golly, he can't even be the number 2 over there.
It's been rough for Elijah. And I guess it's safe to say DeAndre Swift is a start. I don't care about Gainwell or anybody else.
Yeah, he's the number one. I going into this game, I said that we're going to figure out who the real number one running back is.
What an interception. I don't think it'll matter much, but big pick.
The 1 yard line.
Tampa-based defense. Baker will be backed up. I also, real quick, while we're on this game, Baker Mayfield 2-0. Call it what it is. I would have preferred him stay. in LA. I think that was in his best interest. He got the left leg down. That was a good catch. Now, see if he controlled it all the way through the ground. For those of you who don't know, we are watching an interception, 1 down, 2 down, ball down. That should be a good pick. It's bad field position, unless let's see what the ball never goes into the end zone, so it should be down at the 1. So definitely backed up, better than a punt in some ways. So we'll see what happens in Tampa. But turnover for not Justin Fields. So many turnovers him. Jalen Hurts. Let's keep it going. Chris, your thoughts on what you saw out of Deshaun Watson, what we didn't see out of Derrick Henry. What's your future for Tennessee, future for Cleveland? Just your takeaways from the game.
Well, Tennessee needs it. I don't even want to say they need a quarterback because they have 3. They need a change in that offense. It's like Derrick Henry run. Okay, we pass. Derrick Henry run. Okay, let's pass. You brought in D-Hop. The passing game to me is terrible still. This team needs a whole rebuild. They need a refresh. I'm not liking what I see out of Tennessee right now. Bad football. And if you might just have to get rid of Derrick Henry. I mean, we should have known that safety was coming. But
that was a terrible call.
I don't even know. Yeah, that was a terrible call. I don't even know why you
run into the heart of the Eagles defense on the half.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm just gonna
Matt Stafford just threw an interception.
Wow. Wow. But yeah, Tennessee, I think it's time to just rebuild, rehaul that whole team. Honestly, start from scratch. You hit your peak when you went to the AFC Championship. You were never able to capitalize. You never improved your roster. Your roster got worse every year after that, honestly. So it's time for them to restart. And with Cleveland, I'm with y'all. They need a second wide receiver. You know, I love Amari Cooper. Been a fan of Amari Cooper since college. Before all the allegations, everything that came out with Deshaun Watson, he was my favorite quarterback, and I came out and said he was the second best quarterback in the NFL. So I believe if he's able to get back to that status or close to that status, they have a chance because with that defense, I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. That defense to me is one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they're going to continue to prove it week in after week out. And, losing Nick Chubb hurts, but when you have 4, you have Kareem Hunt, guys that know what they're doing. If that passing offense is able to be somewhat consistent, it's going to be a good year for the Browns. Don't think they're going to win the division at all. I still think it's going to the Ravens. But I think, if that defense is able to play like that, the offense would be consistent, they might be able to sneak into the wild card spot.
I will take that. I disagree, but I will certainly take it. Shout out to Deshaun and the Browns pulling it out. 2-1 currently. They've had two really good wins, one not so great loss. So hard to say exactly who they are just yet. But big game next week. Baltimore will be coming to town, and then Cleveland will also host San Francisco. So some big games back to back for Cleveland here, with definitely some division implications. To your point of making the playoffs, if they can win those 2, that'd be incredible. At split at minimum, I think a split at minimum, I think they'd be happy with. But let's keep it moving. We got more games to get to. Atlanta at Detroit. Is it time to say we may have been wrong about Atlanta? The reason I say that is they are currently sitting at 2-1. Obviously, lost to a Detroit team that we think really highly of. And this game was relatively close until late. It was 13-3 at the end of the first half. And then early in the fourth quarter, Detroit went up only 6 points. I've said it before. Taylor Heineke should have been the pick, not Desmond Ridder. But I'll pass it to you, Dev. Your thoughts on Atlanta, Detroit, your takeaways, Kyle Pitts, what are they doing with them? Just what do you think is going on with the Falcons and Lions?
Atlanta, I really don't know what the hell it is they're doing, man. 1 minute they look competitive. It looked like I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have slept on Atlanta in that NFC South. But then you go against a team like the Detroit Lions, who we all can almost kind of agree it's like they just need to just get over their own way, just over that hump a little bit. And Detroit, 1 minute they can flick the switch on, then the next minute they just nowhere. They just like the kitty cats a little bit. So it's like I'm kind of confused. I understand it's still the beginning of the season. I'm not expecting Atlanta to be any gooder than what they are now. I feel like that 2-1 is just a fluke. They caught some teams in the beginning of the year. You know, they normally, if I feel like if that, I can't remember who they played the first 2 weeks, but I feel like if they'd have caught them in the mid-season, Atlanta probably still wouldn't have won that game. You got a good running back, you got a good tight end, but you don't have a quarterback to give it to neither one of those guys. I'm not a fan of Rittner. I'm not really sold on Heineke either. I don't feel like he's going to be the answer for Atlanta. I understand that's your man and all, Ray, but I just feel like now that he's not in Washington's system, Heineke won't be that guy. I just think he's going to be an average quarterback down in Atlanta. Atlanta don't have no philosophy, no scheme, no culture. It feels like it's just a team that's just want to just keep picking in the high first rounds. So that's pretty much what I got out of that game.
Okay. Good to hear. Good analysis there. Definitely appreciate it. Chris, what about you?
I kind of agree with y'all. When it comes to Detroit, I think they're playing. I might have to say they're playing the best football in the division. I love what Green Bay doing as well. But when I look at Goff and how he went there, and everybody was saying Goff isn't this and Jared Goff isn't that, and he was or he is a consistent quarterback right now. Their running game with Gibbs, I think Gibbs is, I picked him for offensive rookie of the year. I was back and forth between him and Bijan. I think Gibbs is legit. I think that Monron is legit, and they have a very good offense. Defense, it's hit or miss, but I think that's a good team. I think it was a good game, like y'all said, close game. When it comes to Atlanta, I love their pieces on offense. I think it might just be Ritter because you have 6'4" receivers, Bijan, Tyler, who's a 1,000-yard rusher. I mean, you have all these pieces on offense. Your defense isn't bad, and you have Kyle Pitts as well. So you're right there to make a break, and it's like something's holding you back. And it might be Ritter. Ritter might be the reason. Do you go into the tank for Caleb Williams? Are you trying to convince Shedeur Sanders to come out the draft this year? We don't know. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Atlanta, them starting off 2-0, they had two very close games that they easily could have lost. So it's not like them starting off 2-0 were dominating fashion. They could easily went 0-2. And I think, this year they're going to be in a lot of tough games, and quarterback play is going to be the reason why they lose.
Okay. So are you saying you would suggest that they do tank for Caleb Williams, especially with Arizona having a huge win, or do you ride it out with Ritter? You got two young quarterbacks on the roster.
I mean, I don't think you purposely tank in the NFL. Oh, well, people will purposely tank. When you have a roster as that Atlanta has, it's going to be hard to purposely tank. I was just saying that maybe, if they're in that lottery, if they're close, I would see if you could trade up to get them. But if you're not close, there's no point in taking because that roster, honestly, you plug and play a quarterback. You put a Jared Goff on their team, or you put another experienced quarterback on that team, and they're 3-0. So we saying they should tank for Caleb Williams. I just believe right now Ritter isn't the guy. So me saying that is saying that, maybe you want to replace him young because the team's young, but there's no point in tanking. Your roster's too good. Arizona, they traded away their third-string quarterback to start their fourth-string quarterback and somehow beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys think they're America's team. But that's neither here nor there.
Whole time, like Jay Ness, close your ears. Arizona could be 3-0.
That's a fact.
Like they could easily be 3-0. So
that's a fact.
I'm glad we got the dub when we got them early, got them out of here, spanked that booty. But Dallas, not so much. Losers. For me, it's more of what I said. I don't think Desmond Ridder is the guy. I definitely agree. He's part of the problem. I think another part of the problem, and in the parts of the game I was able to watch, was inconsistency. You have to have consistent play at quarterback, and I've seen that from some of the best and some of the maybe not so best. And those throws, a little bit off here, a little bit off there, they matter in these tight, close games. And for Atlanta, they need a rebirth on offense. They got Bijan, they got Algier, they got Pitts, they got a young quarterback. They're not paying anybody. Everybody's on rookie deals. So figure it out. You just got to be better than this. And yes, I think the record is good, but the Bucs are also 2-0. Surprisingly, I think they're going to be 2-1 after tonight. The Saints are still the Saints, and the Panthers just look like it's going to be a long year. And they shouldn't be tanking for quarterbacks. They just drafted one. So that would be interesting if Carolina ends up with the number 1 overall pick. The way things are going, the decisions would definitely have to be made. So good for them. As far as Detroit, good win. You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And a sign of a good team is beating the teams you're not supposed to, or beating the teams you're supposed to beat. And then occasionally you can beat somebody you're not supposed to. So they got it done in a good home game, good audience. So good for them. Next game we have was an exciting one that I did pick incorrectly because they collapsed. And I'm not sure if I'm not even going to give him that much credit. I don't know what happened to Jordan Love, but all of a sudden he turned into
he turned into Buddy Love.
I don't know what that was, but he got cooking in the fourth quarter, led a heroic, pretty exciting comeback. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was watching it in agony as someone who picked the Saints, but he figured it out. 18 points in the fourth quarter, down 17-0. And you rally all the way back to get the dub 18-0, all in the fourth quarter. So New Orleans, tough to swallow. Is that Matt Stafford you doing oohing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good. So yeah, definitely excited for the winners there. Shout out to Jordan Love. I haven't. You didn't even see him. How do you not get a fumble on? I'm not convinced yet, but I'm getting there. Like he sat for a while. He's like Bo Nix. He's one of these old guys, but some critical moments he made some plays. So shout out to Jordan Love. Big win, big comeback versus a really good team and a really good defense, more importantly, for me. But Dev, your thoughts?
Man, the Saints just can't get it right when it comes to this quarterback now, can they? Golly. It just seems like every time they feel like they just get on the I lost the word, but as soon as they think they get on the good foot on this quarterback, man.
Down goes Carr.
He's a used car too. But for Jordan Love, man, it looked like him sitting behind Aaron Rodgers all these years is kind of paying off. I'm not saying that Shorty's getting ready to change Green Bay's season or in Green Bay's great win this division. But he got potential. Like I said, we seen a little bit of potential in him last year against that Kansas City game when Aaron Rodgers had missed out that game. And this year Jordan Love is looking solid. I'm not saying that, like I said, I would still put some heat underneath of him and find another quarterback if you don't get another quarterback this year. I would still put some heat because I don't feel like he's the long haul answer. But until then, I feel like Jordan Love can win you some games this year.
Okay. Yeah. That division looks like it might be solid. Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago, not so much.
Minnesota, not so much.
I think the Kirk Cousins experiment will soon run its course as it is long overdue. I felt that way when he left Washington, but who am I? So yeah, Chris, your thoughts?
One, I mean, the Saints blew the game. They had no business doing that. They had no business playing with my money like that. But I'm with you, man. The Saints after Drew Brees, and injuries is kind of hard to predict, but the different scenarios they had at quarterback is just it gotta hurt to be a Saints fan. It has to hurt to be a Saints fan. You look at Michael Thomas coming back; he's actually playing better. I didn't know. He was, to me, I had no expectations for him because I can't remember him playing since before COVID. So
I forgot he was on the team this year.
Exactly. I did too. And so to see him actually come back playing, putting up decent games, him and Olave together. Alvin Kamara is about to come back. You look at the defense, who is a very good defense, on paper. I picked them to win a division. I thought, it wouldn't be easy, but they, kind of be on cruise control for a little bit. And they struggled or been struggling in all three games. All three games they played have been close. It hasn't been a defining win for this team yet. And now that your quarterback that you went on paid is hurt and you go back to Jameis, no knock on Jameis, but when you bring in another quarterback, that means you don't want Jameis to be your guy. And so right now the Saints, they're in an all-lose right now situation. And with the Packers, Jordan Love is looking amazing. I don't care what nobody says. I had zero expectations on him, and I didn't think he'd be looking this good. He's, missing balls, throwing the ball, yes, but he's looked amazing, and he, led comebacks. And so with that being said, I have to take my hat off to Jordan Love. Also is playing without his number one receiver, Christian Watson. So he's making it happen with guys that people cannot name. Aaron Jones is out, and Dylan, he's not being able to establish a very good running game, and they're still able to take dubs. So right now, the Packers and Jordan Love are looking good. I have to disagree with Dev, though. I think Love is their long-term answer, but I will agree that you should bring in another quarterback, maybe a vet, to bring some heat so he can stay on his game, doesn't think everything's going to be fine. Oh, this is my team. No, make a little competition, but also, you should always have a good backup quarterback on your team.
Definitely think we can agree with that. I know the Jets allegedly have been calling about Jacoby Brissett, which based on our last game, we should probably hang on to him because I've been saying it, a quarterback away. Let's get to another team that is probably more than a quarterback away, and a team that has the quarterback of their dreams, apparently. A little backstory. Mike McDaniel used to work in the Denver Broncos organization. A couple years back, there was a coaching vacancy, and Joe Burrow just got folded. Coaching
like
vacancy. Mike McDaniel was not even allowed to interview. Sean Payton said of Tua, basically, not good enough, won't last. What came out of this is a 70 to 20 point win where mercy was shown. You would think if you put up 70 in the game, you probably struggled to get it. Au contraire, a record could have been attempted, but Mike McDaniel showed mercy. I was one who said, Tua, pack it up. Because I thought he could die. Seriously, not like joking. However, I was well aware that the reason he likely would not be retiring or quitting because he hadn't got paid. Well, the clock has started. If Tua Tagovailoa can make it to this offseason, can you argue anybody other than 2 or 3 people being higher paid? So I believe Miami has some decisions to make because right now they also have the benefit of that rookie contract. And there's a whole lot of talent and a whole lot of people getting paid. So they got, in my opinion, a very small window to maximize everybody's talent. But right now, yeah, dog, they're on to watch. And that was without Jalen Waddle, who sat out the game. Denver, Russell Wilson. In the state of Colorado, my condolences to your weekend. I don't know who the backup is in Denver. I don't know what the buyout option is. But if there's somebody that should be tanking for a quarterback, it might just be Denver. So we'll see what happens. But man, Chris, that pick looked bad last year.
You see, I left him alone this year.
Yeah, but you picked the Bears.
I know, right? I know, right? It's because I picked Fields in my fantasy. I went all in. And Mike, if you're watching, I just want to let you know. Just get your popcorn ready. It's going to be
Mike
fun.
Hughes.
Before y'all keep going, Joe Burrow has thrown 31 times already.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It makes no sense. Run the ball.
It don't make no sense.
Like, how the hell are you throwing the ball 31 times and it's just halftime?
Run the ball.
He's throwing for 60.
He's throwing for 60, and they're not going to score more than 20 points.
Oh my goodness! But I'm sorry for cutting you off.
That's fine. That's a stat that needed to be said because some quarterbacks don't even throw 31 times in a game. He's 17 for 31 at halftime.
31 and a half,
and they're all short. There are no passes longer than 20 yards too. Is the crazy part. I think they're all in between 20.
Like typically teams perform this way when you don't have a running back. So it's to substitute for the run game is the short passing game. You have a premier running back who's gotten he's averaging 3.3 yards a carry. So it ain't like he ain't Josh Jacobs to get negative 2 yards for the game. Like he got 23 yards on 7 carries. Feed him. But right now, Joe Burrow is averaging 4.6 yards per attempt.
It's disgusting.
Like it's going to be really hard to win that way. But we will see. Shout out to anybody who drafted a bunch of Bengals offensive players in fantasy. It's been tough this year. Quick update. Baker did throw a touchdown and 2-point was good. We're not NFL Red Zone, but we'll just keep you up to date for fantasy reasons. Also, Mike Evans could have had a huge game. He's had some big drops.
A.J. Brown, too. A.J. Brown dropped 2 touchdowns.
Did he? I have not seen that.
He dropped one the last drive when we was just talking, and he dropped one earlier. So he got 2 touchdown drops right now.
So, yep. Got to get them hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Got to get them hands together.
Tragic.
I did my moment. Chris, I'm going to pass it to you since you did pick Denver last year, but feel free to have fun with the Denver Broncos. Pause.
There's nothing much to say about Denver except for, Cortland Sutton's on my fantasy team, so hopefully they could stay somewhat relevant. He can keep giving me 10 plus points, but they suck. They missed their window. They missed their window when they wanted to ride it out with Drew Lock, and I said, Replace your quarterback now. Now, do not wait. Replace your quarterback now. That was the moment when the defense was better than what it is right now. The offense was better than what it is right now. Replace your quarterback just like you did with Tebow. I don't know why if y'all didn't hold on when you had Tim Tebow, who won you a playoff game, why are y'all holding on to defending Drew Lock? That was my biggest thing. You were quick to get rid of Tebow, who won you a playoff game, who has this historical college career and is this and that, but you were quick to get rid of him, but wanted to keep Drew Lock. Who? No offense to Drew Lock, but let's be honest. What did you do for that team? Now look where you're at now, Denver. You're trash. You brought in Russell Wilson, who, man, you talk about his legacy going down the drain. Don't care what nobody said. His legacy is going down the drain, especially with all these other quarterbacks coming in and building their resume. If he was able to have, go out with his career, win and still being competitive, that's one thing. But the way it's looking, he's going down and down and down on everybody's list. So and Sean Payton, you're the same, buddy. You came out of retirement, whatever you was doing, fishing, whatever you was doing, coach this Denver team, and they stink. You blow leads, you give up 70 points, and they say that about Tua. And then this is my thing on Tua. When Tua was drafted, I said, and this is a fact, I feel like he could be kind of like a Drew Brees, not comparing him to Drew Brees, but a short quarterback, that maybe, arm is here and there, but he's going to be a guy that's going to be accurate and down you up and down the field. His question making to me sometimes has his moments. It has his moments. He does sometimes get bailed out when having a Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. He's the best receiver in the NFL because he gets you 7. All the people that love Justin Jefferson, one guy scores the touchdown and has the yards, one just has the yards. Think about that. This offense is explosive. You were naming a guy like Raheem Mostert. He's bounced around on a ton of teams. He's never been able to stay healthy. That's why, I think they're going to be a running back by committee type of team. But the offense is good. And they're doing all this without Jalen Ramsey. Just remember that, guys. They're doing all this without Jalen Ramsey. The biggest thing on this Dolphins team is, can they withstand the winter? The end of November and December.
There you go.
Will they be able to withstand? So everything that's going on with Miami, I'm not surprised. I'm also not buying into the hype. I'm not, saying that they have been the best team in football right now, the most consistent team in football right now. Offense has been amazing right now, the first 3 weeks, but I'm not buying into the hype until we get in November and December. That's when we see a different Tua. That's when we see a different Miami team. If they're able to, even go 500 throughout that time and play good, consistent football, then we got something to talk about. But until then, I think everybody's not surprised at Miami right now. If you know football, we need to see Miami in December.
Fair enough. I definitely understand and agree with that. Still early, and sadly, they are 2 knockdown away from all this falling apart. So hopefully he can stay healthy and not get hit, because that's not good. Dev, your thoughts on the game and this historic lighting of the Broncos pack?
The Broncos' path has been nothing but bricks, bricks, bricks. Ever since they went out and traded everything to get Peyton Manning. They had Peyton Manning come there to make sure that he was going to be the sheriff that leads them to the Super Bowl. And then who they tried to name deputy sheriff after that? Anybody remember that crazy guy? Crazy name. He was 6'7", gave him a lot of money. Brock Osweiler. And then ever since they gave Brock Osweiler that money, the Denver Broncos has been quarterback searching ever since. So I'm not surprised they in this pickle. Because like I said, when they went and traded and got Russell Wilson, I said, Russell's going to be the same way how he was in Seattle, because Denver is the same exact team. You got okay wide receivers in Seattle, because during that time DK he didn't hit his ceiling yet. He was just in this okay stage. Then you come to Denver, you got a young Jared Judy who's in this okay stage right now.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle had a good coach in Pete Carroll, in my opinion. But then you come to Denver, who's struggling to find out who was going to be their coach. And then you got to remember, Russell Wilson wasn't even their first pick. They were trying to get Aaron Rodgers to come there. That's why they signed Nathaniel Hackett as their head coach. So it's just like the Broncos had just been putting themselves in dumpster fire for like the last couple of years. It just people hasn't caught on. And then you add more dumpster fire to it by adding a quitter, Sean Payton. People keep on, oh, he's the greatest, one of the greatest head coaches. He helped New Orleans win a Super Bowl. He also quit on New Orleans when New Orleans didn't have a good team either.
Talk about it.
You know, so I don't know why everybody put all this hope into Sean Payton when he came to Denver. This guy has been doing nothing but talking nonsense about people ever since he got back into coaching. He told his quarterback, "You are not a politician. Stop kissing these babies." He went in after Nathaniel Hackett and said that it was a shit show in here, that it was getting ran last year. Now he went after Tua. Oh, Tua is not this type of quarterback. And hey, man, the universe is going to give you what you put out. And you put out 70 bad takes, and Miami gave you all 70 back.
Yes, they did.
and I'm mad that Miami kind of let up on you. If Mike McDaniel shouldn't have waved that white, I would have stomped you for 100. We'd have been breaking records. Y'all have been talking about Miami all the way until this Thursday about what we did to Denver. If I was Mike McDaniel in the Miami Dolphins, I'd have showed him no respect. You didn't show nobody else no respect when you was out here ranting and raving and when you on your old man stage. Like Sean Payton, I'm trying to tell y'all, Denver, he's getting ready to quit on y'all this year too, because Denver is about to be dumpster fire for the next couple of years. So that means y'all will be back looking for another quarterback. Y'all gonna be back looking for another GM, and y'all about to be back looking for another head coach.
Things are not looking great or sounding great in Denver. Dev, thanks you for that. Chris as well. Chris, I want to circle back to something you said that I think is, I hadn't really thought about it, but I do think it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I brought it up last pod about Belichick and New England and how much credit one gets. At this current rate, what is the credit respect of Seattle's success when you look at Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson? How much of that long term, now that we've seen Russell for a while, do we say he should have gotten credit for?
I'll say this. The credit Russ, to me should have been given is everything he made with it, all the passes and throws he made with his feet. They had a terrible offensive line. That's no secret. So when he was scrambling out the pocket and making some of these beautiful throws, I'll give him his credit. But as far as winning, it's obvious right now it's Pete Carroll. Seattle's still able to be a top team with the quarterback in Geno Smith, who a lot of people forgot he was even in the NFL. Honestly, all they can remember Geno is his time with the Jets, and we know how that went. So, and so with right now, I have to give it to Pete Carroll. Even though they cost themselves a chance at a dynasty, when they didn't just give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. You cost yourself a dynasty right there. And to me, that was a turning point. They said, okay, look, we're going to be a Russell Wilson-led team, and they haven't made it back since. And their team, that whole run, pre-Legion, post-Legion of Boom, was just him, Russell Wilson, and Pete Carroll, just those two guys winning nothing, doing nothing. But as far as the most of the success, I'm giving it to Pete Carroll. I'm off the Russell Wilson bandwagon. What he's showing me right now is that, hey, I had you going up and up. You're on the down and down. Like I said, his legacy rating for me is going down, and it's going to keep going down. And I wonder if he's going to blame coaching or what's the issue at fault, because just 2 straight years where you're not good, you're blowing leads. That's just bad. That's just bad. I think he just needs to go into. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say it's been bad football. I ain't going to say that. I'm just going to say it's been bad football.
Dev, given what we've seen of Russell Wilson since that throw in that Super Bowl, how much do you think Pete Carroll regrets not giving Marshawn the ball and trying to give the MVP to Russell Wilson?
I don't think he regrets it. But I just think that I'm pretty sure he probably would wish he would have just had Russ just hand it off to Marshawn Lynch. You know, as the coach, you're not going to regret a call. What you see that fits at that time, you know, it's a judgment call. So you can't blame him for thinking that your quarterback whose arm has pretty much kind of got us there in the beginning. But you gotta also think that you can't just blame fully Russ on his downfall. I just think that coaching, this is coaching. If we seen that in the last couple of years that Russ and his arm has not been the same, why are y'all not forcing this guy to hand the ball off?
I have a question really quick, Dev. One, I think it's because they don't have anyone to hand the ball to, and two, we went out and got Sutton and Judy. We thought we were bringing in a quarterback that could get him the ball.
True.
We didn't go get a bunch of great running backs.
And you drafted Mims. They have 3 receivers. They drafted a receiver. The running back isn't
Mims
bad.
Jr., and he caught a bomb in the game. But I will pose it differently for you, Dev. The majority of the reports I heard coming out, you can't have 2 people in motion at the same time, can you?
No.
The majority of the reports we heard coming out of Seattle was Russ wasn't the best leader. Russ was kind of a diva. It was offense versus defense. They were protecting Russ. They got rid of basically the whole Legion of Boom and Marshawn Lynch. And the locker room didn't really get a lot better. Still some issues. Comes to Denver. Similar things. Russ had a room at the stadium, a bunch of issues with his work and performance. His head coach coming out who can be critical, saying, "You're not running for president." I gotta tell you, I kind of disagree. I'm not blaming everything yesterday on Russ, but I think his image has allowed Russ to escape a lot of criticism because he looks like a nice guy. But I think when we revisit this era, I do think the history books will not be nearly as kind to Russell Wilson as he was projected to be with all of his running around. For the longest time, he was able to survive playing like that. And we were saying it's because he didn't have any help. It's because he had to do it. DK Metcalf's a dog. Tyler Lockett's a dog.
But after a while, Lockett couldn't stay healthy, though.
Lockett's still there. And
he is?
Yeah. Tyler Lockett's still there.
I
thought he was done. I thought he was done.
No, he had a good game. I think it was against the Panthers. Against the Lions, he had a good game.
Honestly, boy, I haven't heard about Lockett in about going on 2 seasons now. I didn't hear too much about him last year. I know DK wound up being the dog, and I felt like if Russ would have if they would have stayed a little bit longer, I think him and DK would have be able to hit it off. But as far as him being a diva and stuff like that, hey, I got no words for that. You know what I mean? That's just who he is, man. But you got to also credit to the people that made him to a diva. It was Seattle and his coaching that believed in him that much that he turned into a diva like that. So now he got it stuck in his head that he's built like that. That's the way I'm taking it. I don't know. I'm not a big Russ fan. You know what I mean? I supported him, but I'm not a big fan of him. I was never a fan of him when he was winning in Seattle. He was just like a quarterback to me. I felt like that he had great pieces around him, Legion of Boom, Marshawn Lynch, that can hide his flaws and hide whatever coaching style that was called for him. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of Shorty. He okay. He average. He's a starting quarterback in this league. I give him that. I'm not gonna give him that backup title just yet. But he's one season away from being a backup though.
That's the comment right there. When that a couple years ago, when that defense was good, is when I would have traded for my quarterback. I think they waited too long.
So I'm gonna ask. Oh wow! Almost interception. I'm gonna ask a unique comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all just go with me. Y'all know my brain be doing some weird stuff. Whose career would you rather have? Russell Wilson or Anthony Davis?
Hold on, we're talking about two different sports, right?
Different sports. Two guys have
Anthony
chipped.
Davis.
Two guys arguably have underperformed. Two guys that have, highly touted, good character guys, but seemingly always has left you a little bit wanting. What a play call. Touchdown Rams. Chris says Anthony Davis.
I'm with Chris, Anthony Davis.
Any reasoning? I'm just curious.
Because I felt like Anthony Davis, if it wasn't for him getting injured, I felt like we will be having a better conversation for AD. I think the only thing that really stops AD is his nickname, Street Clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's capable of winning Defensive Player of the Year. He's capable of being a top 5 big man in this league. He's capable, it's just like you see AD can be there, and AD shows you that he can be in that conversation. But every time we put him in that conversation, injury happens.
Mm-hmm.
For us, no matter how we tried to downgrade the conversation, we didn't put the conversation as one of the greatest Super Bowl runs to now we downgraded to the quarterback that's having one Super Bowl. Is he better than Aaron Rodgers? Should he be ahead of Aaron Rodgers or behind Aaron Rodgers? And now we're talking about, is he really a starting quarterback now? So it's just like we always keep giving room for Russell Wilson, but we won't give too much room for Anthony Davis. So I'd rather just go ahead with Anthony Davis because he only has that injury that's over top of his head.
Interesting. Okay. I'll receive that. Let's keep it moving to more poor quarterback play and great quarterback play, at least in the regular season.
That wasn't a touchdown?
Nah, they called it was like somebody was moving in motion, so they took it off the board.
Who was the pass to?
It was like one of the tight ends, I believe.
Yeah.
Game, my bets didn't hit, man. I'm
This
done.
game gonna come down to who got the best kicker.
All right, well, one win down for the night. I'm pretty sure I had the Eagles. I know I had the Eagles. Who do I have winning this other game? Dang, my percentile has fallen. This is a rough week for me. Let's see what we got. Oh no, I picked the Bengals tonight. Freak in ESPN. Well, that's not looking good. But I need to start double checking this before I get my picks. I'd be confused. All right. Back to it. Let's see what we got for the next game. Bad quarterback play. Quarterback needs to be fired. Most first fully guaranteed quarterback, Justin Jefferson. Minnesota Vikings. They fall short yet again to start the season with Kirk Cousins doing Kirk Cousins things. I believe the wheels have just about fallen off the wagon. I've been shouting it from the rooftops. And when you are 0-3, you are in a select group of teams. Let me tell you who you are in the company of: the Panthers, the Bears, and the Broncos. Let me be very clear. You don't want to be in the league with any of them in the NFL. And since he's also on that list, who's also on the verge of also going 1-3. So,
since he ain't win
oh
yet.
yeah, 0-3. Sorry, you're right. So yeah, not good, currently for the Vikings. You have this undeniable talent in Justin Jefferson. My question for you, Chris, is what the heck do you do with this season if you're Minnesota?
I don't know. I really don't know, because outside of the Philadelphia game, you lose 2 games by 1 possession. And that's been the story for Minnesota for years now. Every single game, they're always good, and they lose by a possession or 2. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about messed up parlays on this show, because I'm trying to mask the pain right now, because I'm out. I'm down. I'm down right now. So we're just going to skip the parlay. There's no parlay Chris today. Parlay Chris ain't it. But when it comes to the Vikings,
Dev either.
Dev don't bet.
Yeah,
Dev don't bet.
But, I don't bet. I don't know what y'all talking about. I just like being in the conversation.
But when it comes to Minnesota, I don't know. Like I said, this year after year, they're losing games, 1 possession games, 1 touchdown games, or by a field goal. And I look at what happened, against the Chargers, and you had a game in your hands, and it's 1 or 2 possessions, 1 or 2 plays that go different. You win the game. So I just don't know. You have Justin Jefferson, you have the receiver Addison. I mean, offense, they have it all. Offensive line could be better.
Quick update comes out of the half, runs the ball, shocker, 15-yard gain. Go ahead, Chris.
As they should, but like their defense needs to get better outside of the pass rush. You have Harrison Smith. Who else do you have on the back end? I don't know what Minnesota does. They're in a no man. They're in the worst spot you could be in, where you're not terrible, where you can get a high draft pick. You're not great when you're in the championship. You're in that middle of the pack. That's a bad situation to be in sports. You don't want to tank and be bad. And, if you're not the best, you want to, get there. There's always room to improve. I don't know how much they can really improve without really rehauling this roster. So right now, I think Minnesota's in a no man's land, and I don't know really what they do next. I mean, everybody wants to talk about replacing Kirk Cousins, but that's not going to fix every issue. You get an inexperienced quarterback, and they're going to be worse than what they are now. So everybody wants to say, get rid of Kurt. What are you going to do with that defense? What are you going to do when you have a young, inexperienced quarterback with Justin Jefferson? What if Justin Jefferson doesn't like that quarterback? I think Kirk Cousins, he's not the first thing you get rid of. You figure out the rest of the roster first. I feel like, quarterback is the most important position. You just don't say, hey, let's get rid of Kirk and bring in anybody. Because now you're really messing with your future.
That's interesting.
That is
they've never really had a backup of the future or quarterback of the future on that roster that I'm aware of. I'm not the biggest Vikings fan, but I can't say that they're necessarily set up for the next evolution, given that this was a pretty important year for Kirk Cousins. I feel like ownership and the way that they handled Dalvin Cook and Kirk Cousins, even giving the money guaranteed, I thought was flawed. They let Thielen walk, and it's just, I guess, the rebuild, a tough rebuild. Sucks for Jefferson. He's not as bad as who was the lineman that they? Oh, it was the Denver Garrett Wolf. Like I've been here for 7 years. It's just been a lot of losing. It's the story of Kirk Cousins wherever he goes. So more power to him. He's made a lot of money. Good, wholesome guy from what I understand. But I would never pick him to be my quarterback. I do want to give kind of a condolences. Mike Williams, another year, another injury. I don't know what's wrong with the LA Chargers and medical staff, but they just can't catch a break. Between the Chargers and the Ravens, it's just tough.
We dropping like flies in here.
Mike Williams, torn ACL is what is being reported.
Yep.
So tough for him, tough for the Chargers' future. He was having a good game. Keenan Allen lost his mind. Even with some misses early, I don't think you'll get that game in and game out. And he also has a history of injury. So as a Chargers fan, I'm not super excited by the win long term. But at the same time, a dub is a dub. So shout out to the Chargers and their accomplishment. On to the next. Another team that needs a quarterback. The New York Jets. Zach Wilson, you had everything you could have ever wanted. You had the mentor, and now you have the opportunity. And all you did was prove the Jets gave up too little for Aaron Rodgers. Because God dang, Zach Wilson, you trash. Yeah, they took Zach Wilson. What? He was a third pick. He was like top 5 pick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was second. Even worse. So I think it's about time to start talking about that B word. I was gonna bring it up.
So he is a butt.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up. Hey, Dev, I was gonna bring it up immediately. So as soon as you gave me the word. So
okay, I be trying to be nice sometimes, but hey, it is what it is. Chris, talk to him. What you got for my man Zach?
get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Like, honestly, call up Nick Foles, call up somebody. He has to go. He cannot be your starter next week. Or you're going to lose. Unless you're about to tank for Caleb Williams, with no point because you got Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know what you do if you're the Jets. I legitimately feel bad for the fans because I have to admit, I picked them to win the division. We see how that's going to go now. Another year, I'm losing out. And I don't think it was a bad pick because I see this defense. I see what the running game can be. Now, the running game's not going to reach its potential because with Zach Wilson, he's not a threat to do anything passing the ball, so they're going to load the box. He's not a threat to do anything passing the ball. The only reason why that Cowboys game they scored competitive is because of a broken tackle. If Garrett Wilson gets tackled right there, they punt the ball. This offense sucks because of the quarterback. Honestly. I see that, they better go out and get Keenan. They need to get somebody. Zach Wilson is not your answer. As much as the head coach want to say we're going to ride with our guy, let's be honest. Do you really want to do that? Even if Aaron Rodgers comes back, get a 1-year rental. Like I said, get a guy like Nick Foles. An experienced guy. I feel like I'm looking with Andy Dalton's right now, what he did last week with Adam Thielen. Get you a guy that knows what he's doing. I feel like he's going to have a better chance than Zach Wilson. Zach needs to go. Zach is a bust. Outside of, I'm looking at this draft, and you look at the quarterbacks that were taken. Trevor Lawrence, even though
Joe Mixon touchdown.
Why did you going to, I can't, I was going to start talking about my parlays. We're not here for that. Trevor Lawrence, we see what he's going to be in the NFL. Trey Lance, bust. Zach Wilson, bust. These are guys that should not have been picked over Mac Jones. These are guys that should not have picked over Justin Fields. I'm looking at, guys that I feel like I would have taken over Zach Wilson, all these the defensive guys. I was never high on Zach Wilson at all. To me, the best two quarterbacks in this draft were Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields by far. Everybody wants to go find this guy that, it doesn't matter if they played on the big stage. Oh, we found the guy. We got the guy. Oh, because of this. No. Nobody thought anything of Zach Wilson. He wowed you with a pass in a pro day with no defense coming at him. And we see him right now that Zach Wilson is not your guy. Now, if he was able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year or two, I think it would have changed a lot for him. But nothing's changed. This is the same Zach Wilson that has been benched. This is the same Zach Wilson who had his job taken multiple times. He has to go. Honestly, Jets, your roster is too talented for you to try to tank. And you have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers for how many years?
I mean,
regardless, he's more there for more than 1 year. So you don't tank him and draft a quarterback. So you need to get yourself a 1 year rental. Be competitive. Because honestly, with a 1 year rental, you still are able to make the wild card because of how talented this defense is. So get Zach Wilson up out of here and let's go play some football. But Zach Wilson has to go. I mean, he's trash. I don't know how many times I got to say it.
You've mentioned the 1 year rental a couple times. Do you think you trade maybe a running back or something to try and go get a quarterback, or is there somebody sitting on the couch?
Nick Foles. I'm going to get Nick. I'm going to Nick Foles. I'm going to I sit down and really look at to see what backup quarterbacks there are right now. I know there's some, but I'm getting rid of Zach Wilson like ASAP. I would, if Andy Dalton didn't get hurt. I mean, if what's Stroud? No, not Stroud. Bryce Young. If Young didn't get hurt, I would have looked at Andy Dalton. You need to get rid of Zach Wilson. And the atmosphere I'm seeing on the sidelines from your running backs, from your receivers, it's not looking good. The chemistry is going to get worse if you keep losing. And you're going to keep losing if number 3 is at quarterback. I feel like it's an easy fix. And I feel bad that, he's not playing to the potential he wants to play. Nobody wants to be a bust. Nobody wants to play to that level. But we just have to, we have to be grown. We have to be professionals. You're not playing up to the standard that your organization or your boss needs you to play. You're expendable. And it's time for them to use that piece and expend them.
Wow.
That's not even a word, but it sounded good.
A lot of gems, a lot of zingers there. I don't disagree really at all with anything said. What I would say is I would add to I think the no-brainer option, the win-win option for the locker room, for the New York headlines, even for your desire to potentially tank for a quarterback of the future, I think it's easy. It's Colin Kaepernick. It's low risk. Nobody thinks he'll be any good. The NFL can finally put to bed, we gave him a shot. It's in New York. It'll sell tickets. It'll create buzz. He's been working out. The team's going nowhere.
So you don't care about wins?
There is. If I cared about wins, Zach Wilson wouldn't have started a single game.
You got a point. I mean, you got a point. You got a point.
Like, we have no backups on the roster. There's nobody available that says yes. Tom Brady's not coming back. Drew Brees ain't coming back.
Imagine if Tom Brady came out of retirement, won the Super Bowl first year.
Imagine if he did it in the Patriots division. That'd be nuts.
I think we're huge on the what ifs right now, but if that actually happened, there's nobody's reaching him in GOAT status. He's an atmosphere that will never be reached. Honestly,
we agree. So yeah, interception. Matt Stafford on a pass deflection. Bengals look to be potentially taking over.
Bad day of football, man.
Tough day for some people, for sure. Let's get to it. Oh, no, Dev, I don't think I touched on you. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Paul. New England.
I want you to touch on.
Oh my goodness, what was going on here, Dad?
Woo, boy, going too much. Dev, your thoughts on Zach Wilson, the Patriots? Are the Patriots back? Is the Jets just trash? What should the Jets do?
The Patriots not back. I don't know what they're what are they gone? You know, they still sorry. But the Jets are just sorrier. You know, Zach Wilson is not the guy. I've been said this. People don't realize Zach Wilson got Baker Mayfield. And he don't even really know it yet. And the Jets was like, well, we'll keep him on the team. We ain't gonna fully Baker him fully. You know, they went out and did what Indianapolis did for the last 2 years and got these old rental quarterbacks. You should have known that Aaron Rodgers was barely going to hold up. He's 40. Well, damn near 40. There's only one 40-year-old that actually played through his 40s, really, for real. And that was Tom Brady. But after a while, when Tom Brady was starting to get his ass whooped last year, he came to his senses and was like, you know what? This 40-year-old shouldn't be taking his beating like this. And I'm not. I'm retiring. And I think that's what Aaron Rodgers is about to do. I felt like it didn't matter if Aaron Rodgers got hurt this year or if the Jets made it to the Super Bowl, made it to the playoffs. I still feel like that it was going to be a 1-year rental. He held Green Bay up for 2 to 3 years, saying, I don't know, I might come back.
I might not.
You know, so, you know, if he's doing that to the team that he took to the Super Bowl, that he felt they was loyal to him and everything, what makes you think he won't do that to y'all in New York? So I think once they went shopping for Aaron Rodgers, they should have went shopping for the second string quarterback also, because they knew they didn't have no faith in Zach Wilson last year. Mm-hmm. And they let that man pretty much do whatever he wants because they were just like, he's not coachable. We're not going to sit here and try to coach this guy up for our game plan, and it's not going to work. They don't believe in him. So I don't know why the Jets all of a sudden want to believe in him now, just because y'all playing backfire on that Band-Aid quarterback. So the Jets is getting what they deserve. You went all in on the old quarterback. You didn't try to get no second string quarterback. Don't try to get Jacoby Brissett now. Don't try to go get any of these Gardner Minshew or any of these quarterbacks now, because when these guys are looking to be starters and before training camp started, you looked the other way. You felt like Aaron Rodgers was your best and only hope. So now don't get mad when none of these teams who got the Andy Daltons and the rest of these guys and be like, no, we ain't trading. We seen how season is going. Having a strong backup quarterback is important. Mm-hmm. So the Jets they're in an effed up situation too. They gonna be in that Caleb Williams, Shador, and hopefully Shador Sanders come out of college next year.
Mm. There's a couple quarterbacks. Obviously, Coach Prime said Shador is not coming out, but a lot to be determined between now and then.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be a fun situation to see unfold.
For sure, a fit will definitely matter as well. Would love to have him in DC. I'll tell you that. But speaking of DC, about what I expected to happen, I've said it. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's true. Washington is a quarterback away, and when your quarterback throws 4 interceptions, you're probably gonna lose. I don't know how much more insight I can give you besides 4 interceptions, probably gonna lose. Defense did the best they could. Running quarterbacks, specifically running white quarterbacks, have given us a lot of trouble. Danny Dimes cooked us last year, and Josh Allen had a couple, big plays. It's a team that is still young, so there was some miscommunication on some plays. Not terribly surprised by that. Cincinnati, like they getting cooking. But yeah, Buffalo came in.
Y'all chose the Rams, remember?
I did 100%.
Well, I chose Cincinnati, as I said, in ESPN, and I need that league to get better because my percentile is plummeting.
I definitely Joe Burrow looked like a high school quarterback the first 2 weeks. I wasn't putting no faith in him.
So, and the Rams turnovers. Cook, they've had some good drives. They've owned 2 bad picks. So yeah, Washington took the L, first L of the season. Hopefully it'll be a learning experience. Another guy, I think it's time that we say goodbye to, and it really sucks because man, he's so talented. But Antonio Gibson's just he keeps fumbling. Like, man, the supremely talented. Can catch, can run, can block, but he can't stop fumbling. It's in his head, it's not in his arms. It's bad. But I'm not out. Philly obviously got the win tonight, so we're still tied for second with Dallas, who lost to a much worse team, in my opinion. So, and I think some things might have got exposed in Dallas, in my personal opinion. So, we'll see what happens. Sam Howell, you got a chance to bounce back, get in the film room, and be better. Dev, your thoughts on the Bills stumping the Commanders?
I just think the Bills caught y'all at the wrong, at the right time. Honestly, the Bills been a little frustrated on how their season is kind of started, kind of a up and down. People questioning Josh Allen now. People is questioning McDermott. Is he the coach that can lead the Bills back to the AFC and stuff like that? And I just felt like the Bills just was like, you know what? We tired of these questions. Sorry, Washington, y'all about to catch the end of the bad ugly stick of it. And I think that's what just happened for real, because even Washington had bad fumbles and stuff like that. At one point in time, Washington was still kind of semi in it until maybe about mid third quarters when Buffalo kind of start pulling away. So it's nothing to hang your head low on for Washington. Like I said, I felt like if the turnovers would have never happened, y'all were just giving Buffalo the momentum. So if that momentum was able to still swing in Washington way, even with those fumbles, Washington was still in it. So you're nothing to hang, be upset about or anything in that nature. Because honestly, I thought y'all was gonna get stomped even worse. Being that, like I said, all the stuff that I just named before that, Buffalo was tired of the frustrations and tired of everybody downplaying them. But at least y'all didn't get Miami. That's the new thing is going to get called.
Yeah, you got Miami.
Well, yeah, that was my take side of it.
Chris?
I mean, nobody expected y'all to win. I'm just going to be honest. Didn't think you'd lose in that fashion. The Bills, I realized that week 1, a lot of people overreacted, saying, Josh Allen and Diggs having bad chemistry. This team isn't what it's supposed to be. It's not what it used to be. They're going to have a terrible year. And I look at back-to-back weeks, the offense has been consistent, and the defense has put up very good performances. Now you're going against 2 teams who offensive aren't the best. But I look at the Raiders, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs had a terrible game. Adams still did him. Look at the Commanders. They were able to be consistent on the offensive side of the ball throughout the whole game. Like you said, 4 picks. So the defense is, turning the ball over. They're making plays. Offense behind Josh Allen is doing what they have to do. It's between them and Miami. Because of the Jets, what's going on right now, the Patriots, I don't think everybody thought they was going to be last. So it's between them and Miami, and I'm excited to see that. And real quick, you talked about the Cowboys and some things why they got exposed. I agree. I 100% agree. Yes, you lose. Anybody can lose any week. But it's how you lost. It's the fact that you could have won. And I look at Gilmore getting beat. You lose Diggs. Now you have to try to figure out who's your other corner. I think that's a big issue. Outside of Parsons, what is this defensive line? And what is the run stopping really going to look like? And offensive side, Dak Prescott. Y'all believe in number 4, huh? That's all I got to say. Y'all believe in number 4.
We're not going to pick the game tonight. We should all be back Thursday, but we got Dolphins at Bills next week. Buffalo is a 2.5-point favorite coming off Miami 70-point win. So
I'm taking over. I'm taking over on that game. I'm taking the over.
Let's see. Do they have the over on here? Josh Allen has 5 touchdowns, 4 picks this year.
Yeah, nobody talks about. He's a terrible decision maker. He's really Brett. Let me say this. He's the closest thing to Brett Favre we've ever seen.
Over under at 53.5. So
I'm taking over.
100%. I'm leaning over in that myself.
But
one put up 70, one put up 40.
He's Brett Favre. He's really Brett Favre. He's the modern day for people like me who did not see Brett Favre play and heard all the positive things and some of the negative. I'm seeing it right now with Josh Allen. Maybe he might be more mobile, but as far as decision making, but he still make every throw.
I think he's a little bit more accurate than Brett.
Listen, I believe it.
I give him a little bit more accuracy. Brett had way more. Brett had more power, arm power.
They both could throw the ball.
Both can get it down there. But I just feel like Allen his accuracy just a little bit better than Brett's.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see Mr. Allen. We're gonna definitely see. Shout out to them and to another team. Backup quarterback. Who started for Indy this week? Anybody remember?
Gardner Minshew. I know for a fact. Watch this. We're going here. Oh my God. Boy, I tell y'all, if y'all did not know, please go back to my Saturday episode. I lie to you not. I called it. I said that this game is a trap game. And a lot of people gave me backlash talking about it's too early for a trap game. How can you call it right now? It's never too early. Indianapolis don't have nothing. I mean nothing to really play for, man. But they keep it credit, though. They get them credit. Indianapolis in both of their games before the Ravens, they was in it. They was in it against the Jaguars in week 2, and I forgot who they played against in week.
They beat the Texans.
You know what I mean? So it was like, yo, the Colts are not bad. They are just something. I don't know what they're missing. I don't know, but they are just missing something. And I say, yo, it's a trap game. Don't go ahead thinking everybody in the world was going to pick Baltimore. Everybody was all favorite. Oh, Lamar. Remember that Lamar comeback when he threw 442 yards, his career best, blah, blah, blah. Boy, I tell you, my man coughed up 2 fumbles yesterday. Kenyon Drake, first game back as a Raven, fumbled on a screen pass. Offensive, we ain't had no offensive movement, and I hate to say this, our rush defense looked like Colorado's rush defense Saturday. Zach Moss should not have been running up and down that field like that. We allow Zach Moss to get 104 rushing yards yesterday off of 15 carries. Just imagine what happened if Jonathan Taylor was there. Just imagine. Oh my goodness. Baltimore, there's some fundamental things that we need to sound up. Number 1, rat tackling. Jadeveon Clowney is killing me with just slinging the quarterback around. Take him down. Wrap him up and take him down. Number 2, don't forget about Mark Andrews. I understand big plays Zay Flowers is doing his thing. He's on his potential to try to become Rookie of the Year. But the offense does not go without Mark Andrews. If you don't feed one of the top tight ends in this league. The offense not going to really go nowhere. Everybody's going to get keyed on to the wide receiver. And then number 3, while I'm on it, we are getting depleted in the wide receiver room. So I wouldn't keep force feeding Zay like that, man. We got to slow it down. It's a long season. Oh. And then in my last statement, I'm sorry. The refs missed 2 calls yesterday, and both of them was on Zay. They missed that face mask that Zay should have got, and they missed that pass interference that Zay should have got the end of our drive. Referees was blind. They Ray Charles us. They Stevie Wonder the game. I can't believe that they did me like that, but it was a trap game. The coach did everything they were supposed to do, man. So nothing but giving props to him now.
So I did get a chance to watch a lot of the game myself, just because obviously here, and I agree with the calls for the most part, but I have been consistent in my hesitation with Lamar. Can you consistently throw the ball? And I saw a couple of throws that was missed. I expected down the stretch for him to just run the ball a lot more down the stretch. He's not running as much. Like, he had a lot of carries and yards last week, but there were some critical moments I kind of would have expected him to run. Mm-hmm. He just didn't. He didn't do that. As someone who drafted Mark Andrews in multiple leagues, I agree. Throw him the ball. It ain't like there's a bunch of people out there. Odell, God bless him, can't stay healthy. So
Bateman can't stay healthy.
Like, if I was a player with an injury history, I know y'all fired the strength and conditioning coaching team. That is not the team I would go to. I would not be a Charger or a Raven if I have an injury history. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I don't know what's wrong with this Baltimore water, boy. It seems like we got like 14 people injured already. And we only in week 3, going to week 4.
It's crazy how many people y'all have that's been injured.
It seems to happen too often. So I don't know. Chris, any thoughts on BMORE and INDY before we wrap up here shortly?
You know, INDY without their quarterback Anthony Richardson were able to get it done. Who I think Anthony Richardson has been everything I expected him to be the first 2 weeks. Didn't think he's going to be a guy that was going to kill with his arm talent, but running the ball, I mean, he's been a gift. Gardner Minshew was able to get it done. I thought the Ravens still could have won that game. You know, that Justin Tucker missed field goal hurt, but
short at that.
Yeah,
who saw that coming?
Nobody. But you know, it's football. Some teams win, some teams lose. The injury bugs really is the Ravens' problem. There's nothing more I can say. You know, it's hard to really dissect that game, dissect that team when you go up and look and they have 10 plus guys that are hurt. So it's hard to really even speak on the Ravens right now until they get some guys healthy, if they can get some guys healthy, because it's just that division right now is up for grabs only because of injuries right now with the Ravens. Even though I picked them to win, I do think they will win. But when you have that many guys hurt, it changes the aspect of your team. You know, the Steelers are trash. The Bengals, they might win today, but they've been too inconsistent for, you know, the first 2 weeks. I need to see more. And the Browns are the Browns.
Okay. I definitely understand that. We got one last one. Maybe the biggest shock as far as a win-loss standpoint, obviously the Dolphins' points. I don't think anybody anticipated 70, but Dallas. Sadly, Kenny can't be here to speak on this. And ironically, Jay's not here to speak on this. But Jay been running for the last 2 weeks, so he couldn't show up when you just choked 2 games away. But yeah, I think the verdict is out, and I felt this way last year, and I think we're seeing it a little bit more. Run at Michael Parsons. Like, that's been the MO of dynamic DNs. Make them defend the run. That offense without Zeke, even though Zeke wasn't great last year, I don't love it. Brandon Cooks ain't cooking. Michael Gallup ain't really galloping. And CeeDee Lamb Mary's little lamb for the most part. I think they've benefited from great defense and turnovers. And when that offense is forced to go win a game and go make plays, Arizona's defense is better than anticipated. I saw that firsthand. But not if you're a championship contender. Like that just it was lazy. It was typical Cowboys playing down to a level of competition. And they almost got embarrassed. So I imagine this will be a wake-up call for them. Arizona, I think they might be a little confused because they've been in every game with 3 potential playoff teams, at least to start the year. So if I'm them, I don't know what to think right now. Do you think, hey, if we just get Kyler back, he might can get us over the hump? Do you think, man, it's really been Kyler this whole time. We got to get him out of here. And I don't think you think Josh Dobbs is the answer, even though he's been playing well. So I don't really know what to think if I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan or member of management today, but on to next week. Dev, your thoughts on the game?
Oh man, I was shocked when I seen the Cards beat the Cowboys, but I didn't really watch the game. Just seen a couple of highlights. I seen that that defense didn't really look the same when they did not full strength. I think losing Diggs is a big key for them. And I was wondering how the loss of Diggs was going to really hinder, or even if the even was going to even hinder the Cowboys or not. And I feel like there is. Gilmore is a little bit older. It's not the same Gilmore as he was with the Colts and his previous other teams before. So now, that's not getting covered up over Diggs' ball hawking ability. Now that ball hawking ability is gone, it's just like, all right, you just pretty much basic or average corners out here now. We don't got to worry about a guy. If I throw it too late, Diggs might gamble and jump on that, or Diggs can run the same route as the wide receiver, just like his brothers, stuff like that. Now it's just people don't have to worry about the back end. Now you just got to worry about Parsons now. And it seems like they once they keyed in on Parsons and was able to find Parsons, they ran with it. They was able to keep their defense scrambled and looking confused, because what I seen from that game was it was a lot of dink and dunks from Josh Dobbs. Dobbs didn't really go deep too much. So if you got beat up by a dink and dunk quarterback, then that means that was just confusion on my end, and you're just lost without your gambling guy, and now you're banking on this one guy who was playing tremendous the first 3 weeks. I mean, the first 2 weeks to carry us home, and then you switch it over to the offensive side. I keep trying to tell people Dak Prescott is not the guy that's going to get you over the hump. He's a nice guy. He's a decent quarterback, but he's not that hungry guy. He's not that guy that you feel like this. You will go through a wall for. He's not the guy that people. He's not Patrick Mahomes, and you see anybody, doesn't matter who it is on that Kansas City, is going to run their routes and make sure that they are home for Patrick Mahomes. But when you look at it on this side, everybody doesn't want to rally for Dak. Everybody's not coming back to Dak when he gets to scrambling and stuff like that. And then what's crazy is every time that Cowboys have a bad game and they start blaming it on Dak, that's who they leave it on. Nobody comes to say like, "Nah, Dak played one hell of a game. It wasn't him. It was a team fault." Coaches don't take blame or nothing. It just all falls on Dak Prescott, and that's how it's going to be until Dak becomes that guy, that hungry guy that he finally take Dallas deep into the playoffs off of his game and off of his will. Dak is going to keep being the guy that keep getting the blame for it.
Yeah, they pay you the money to get the job done, and I think we can all admit he hasn't got it done thus far. As an Eagles fan, Chris, what did you see yesterday out of Dallas?
I saw bad coaching.
Yeah.
I saw defense. This top defense we were seeing. I saw, like you said, some things that were being exploited, and I didn't see the Dallas that we saw the first 2 weeks. To me, I don't know why you go for it on fourth down in your opponent's territory. Eagles did it. I was pissed off. The Cowboys did it. You kick your field goal there. You have another field goal. You down two. I mean, a lot of things change. If you take your points, especially if you believe in your defense so much, I feel like you take your points. 100%. You always take all the points that are given to you. I just didn't understand that play call. Offense was never able to be consistent. I'm with y'all. Dak isn't that guy. On the defensive side, it's like Micah Parsons, and what else do they have without Diggs? The Dev's point, you take away that one guy that's really going to be that ball hawk, and everybody's playing safe coverage. So when you have a guy that's playing safe coverage, I feel like quarterbacks and, opposing teams are more comfortable throwing the ball against you. I saw, Marquise Brown have a very good game against Gilmore. Gilmore is getting older. He's not going to be able to keep up with some of these guys, especially these faster guys. So without Diggs, it's going to be a struggle for this team. Not saying that they're going to completely fall off. I do think they were not going to win the division. It was going to be the Eagles. And that's not me being biased. I just feel like Eagles have a better roster. Just want to put that out there. But
did the Eagles got better coaching?
100%. 100% better coaching. I do think right now the best team in the NFC, though, I'm giving it to the 49ers right now for the first 3 weeks. I'm giving it to the 49ers. I was always a 49ers guy as far as I believed in what they were building and what they could be. They should have a Super Bowl ring. They should have beat the Chiefs. It shouldn't have been close. But, if we can have that conversation whenever y'all want. They should have destroyed the Chiefs by 21 plus. But, that's neither here nor there. With the Cowboys, actually, I'm a segue to that. When you have a running game and a defense, you just need your quarterback to make plays. I'm with you. You lose Zeke, you kind of lose some of that running game with the Cowboys. You're supposed to believe in this defense. You just need your quarterback to make plays. Well, Dak isn't it. Passing game, you bring in Brandon Cooks, waiting to see something from him. He's not cooking, as Ray would say. Gallup isn't galloping, like Ray would say. I will have to disagree. CeeDee Lamb, it's cooking like a lamb chop. Except for last week. With the first 2 weeks, he was cooking like a lamb chop. Tony Pollard has been very good. But to me, this team needs to be better if they want to be real Super Bowl contenders. Defense has to be consistent. More pass rush outside of Parsons. Where's DeMarcus Lawrence at? I feel like he hasn't been the same since he got paid. And you just hope they find another guy to be next to Gilmore that's able to be somewhat helpful in his back four could make plays. And with Arizona, real quick, I'm with you. I don't know what you do. You trade away your third string quarterback for your fourth string. You're in every single game. The defense somehow is good. No offense, you're in NFL. Congratulations. I never heard a lot of these guys on the defense right now. I do think they're still going to try to trade Budda Baker. But I do believe, however, they're going to start in the next couple of weeks. Realization is going to kick in. The Cinderella moments and stuff are going to kick in. They're not going to be in any more close games. They're the worst roster, worst team in the NFL for a reason. It's going to show towards the end of October through the rest of the season. So week 7, week 6, and on, you're going to see the real Arizona. The one that's taking it for Caleb Williams, who I don't know if you draft him.
Well, there you have it. No faith in Arizona and no real faith in Dallas either. So definitely understand that. Before we get out of here, we do have to talk about the topic of the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, a new power couple is in the making. Listen, fellas, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And Travis Kelce,
Oh, we're better than this.
shoot, I don't know how he did it. I have learned more about Taylor Swift and what she represents in recent years. But the stats are the stats. 400% spike in sales for Travis Kelce jerseys in one day.
It's the Taylor Swift effect.
They have a video of her walking out with him and in his booth in 400% in a day. The New Balances that she was wearing, all of a sudden, potentially flying off the shelves. So I didn't know that she was her like that. I know the Eras Tour is doing a lot of money, but shout out to Travis. I've said it on here many times. If you're happy off the field, you tend to play better on the field. And when stuff's wrong off the field, I think it can impact on the field. And for the first time, the Chiefs look like they were having fun. And they look good. They look better. They're getting it there. But yeah, I love love. Excuse me. I love love. Shout out to them. Even Micah Parsons. I don't know if y'all watch this podcast, is giving Travis a lot of love. So this is definitely shaking up. Bill Belichick even commented on it. This is shaking the sports world, Chris. Just is what it is. Shout out to Travis Kelce. Go Chiefs. Anything for the people before we go, Chris? You might have ASAP's numbers going up. These Swifties get on here talking crazy.
Nah.
You ain't putting enough respect on their name.
Oh, first of all, I wasn't disrespecting Taylor Swift. I know what she is. She's her. But at the same time, you know, we're not about to sit up here and be like everybody else talking about the power couple. Okay, congratulations to Kelce. That's what Kelce brothers do. You know,
He spoke it into existence.
he did. You know, Jason Kelce, the legend himself. You know, Travis Kelce is a legend himself. So shout out to them.
When that next Taylor Swift album drops and it's about Travis Kelce, bruh.
But I mean, Kelce's back though. He's back. To me, number 2 as far as greatest tight ends of all time. He's second to me. He has a chance to be 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new John Morant.
What is that? I can't see.
We ain't talking no smoke.
Woo! If I hooped, I'll be hooping in those. Nah, I probably hooping Kyrie's, honestly, if I still hoop.
Is this the message we want to send now?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Kendrick Lamar had a great song. It's called Be Humble.
Nobody listen to Kendrick, bro. These kids don't listen to Kendrick Lamar.
That Mr. Morales tour was legendary. I went. There was a lot of kids there.
These kids don't listen to Kendrick Lamar. They can't name 5 Kendrick Lamar songs.
All right. We are. I don't know what
I'm telling you what it is. I'm being like, you're coming from my age group. If I was here, put on the aux. Nobody's putting on a Kendrick Lamar song. Let me not say nobody. 95% of people won't put on one Kendrick Lamar song in their life if they're given aux, bro. At my age bracket. I'm just being honest.
I didn't even know kids your age is still even using aux.
Bluetooth, you know what I mean. Bluetooth. I still know how to use aux. But
yeah, most cars don't even come with them no more.
Yeah, everything's honestly Bluetooth now. But with the whole John Morant thing, listen. You know, as long as you're not out here doing what you're doing, pulling out guns, you know, stop doing that. We ain't ducking no smoke. I mean, people say that all the time. Everybody in the world says in there, we not ducking no smoke. It's not like, you know, that's still, only a certain amount of people saying we ain't ducking no smoke. I hear coaches saying it at every level. I hear players saying it. I hear commentators say it. I hear so many people saying we ain't ducking no smoke that he's allowed to put that on the show. And like I said, you know, It sucks that some people look up to him and they're seeing the negative and they don't always see the positive. And I'm not going to speak on how, kids should look up to people. I know me personally, I separated on the court from off the court. I separated your rap music from your real life. So I feel like people, had to do a better job of doing that separation. However, as long as he's not doing what he did last year, if you want to say we ain't ducking no smoke, I'm with that because everybody says that. That's a popular saying amongst everybody in every age group, every demographic, and every sport.
Okay. I respect it. Definitely respect it.
By the way, number one in the division, right? I just want you to know that. We'll see you Sunday.
We play all this week?
Sunday.
I thought we had Chicago coming.
Nah, you're in Philly. You're in Philly.
All right. Well, we beat y'all last year. We'll see what happens. They had that stat. Jalen Hurts, 15-1. Last season, he lost to Taylor Heineke in Washington.
You got it. Yeah, you got that. You're going to hold on to that forever.
Just like I'm going to hold on to breaking that Ravens preseason streak. I don't care. Got him. Bang, bang. You thought I forgot, Dev? Bang, bang. Still here.
Get your mans, Dev.
Same record. 2-1, baby. We back.
Pay rate no mind. Still early.
Got to tune them out.
Yeah, I treat them just like I do my kids when they get to calling me 1,000 times and don't want nothing. I sit there and just look at them.
These are the L's that Dev holds from this preseason and Chris from last year. Update your resumes, gentlemen. But Rams about to get the ball back, 4th and 5. I think they're going to kick another long field goal. McPherson's been booming them. So we will enjoy the rest of this evening. I've been quiet on it just because I've been quiet, but I have not forgotten. Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez fight this Saturday. This Saturday. I was also scrolling while we were live, and rumor has it, this might be a breaking news, not official. Rumor has it Gervonta Davis will be fighting Keith Thurman at
I saw that too.
So
I saw that too. Catch weight 145.
He went up and got Barrios. If you go up and get one time
at 145, at
145, that puts him easily in the 140 weight class, which means in a few years, 147 might be up for grabs.
Which also means Shakur need to hurry up and move up and start. You want him, you gotta go chase him now. They're trying to, and in his eyes, and listen, I'm gonna just say it is. Let's just say they're running from you. You think they're running from you, and I don't think Tank's running. The other guy's definitely running. Devin, he's running. He's a runner. He's a track star. So go chase him down.
Track him down. 19-9 Bengals. We are a little over, so appreciate y'all rocking with us. Should be back on Thursday with some more picks. Just quick update for everybody. Dev is currently 13-5, rocking. I am 21-8, and Chris is 18-11. So, hey, if y'all want to start parlaying some of these picks we giving y'all money line, knock yourselves out.
I need to stop picking on my heart. I need to stop.
What's Chris record again?
Ray's record is 21-8.
No, I said Chris.
18-11.
Sorry.
I mean, you just one bad week away, right, from being with me. And Dev, don't get too happy too soon.
Hey, this was a bad week. Don't get it twisted. I started off like me and Dev was something in 1 the first week. This last week brought us back down.
I was picking on my heart, not my mind. It's cool. Week 4, I'm going undefeated week 4.
I'm not upset with really any of the games I lost. Like I'm always going to pick Dallas over Arizona. I would probably always pick Baltimore over Indy.
I'm mad at the Jaguars.
The Jags was tough. They lost in overtime. Seattle cost me in another. And then New Orleans, like, I lost by 1. Like, the games we lost weren't, like, we just got them wrong. We just got them wrong, technically. So, I'll be back. I haven't looked at next week's schedule yet. Dev got his joint. He's going to put his picks out that's the thing. I got an ESPN league. I got the games I pick here, and then I got this thing with Dev. I don't remember who I'm picking. So in all three groups, my records is different because some games are tight, and I be forgetting.
You don't write them down?
I should, but I don't. I usually because Dev's joint, you just go into a thing and you vote, so you can't write that down. And then ESPN, you just
write it down as you vote.
Write it in your notes.
I'm a man. Get out of here. I just click vote, and the ESPN, I just check a box, so I don't write that down. The only place I write it down is here. Different. So it is what it is.
Which league do you have the best record with?
ESPN was bad this week. I was up in the like 99 percentile, and then this week I dropped down to 93. So I am on ESPN. I'm in 94 after the pick the right. And if Cincy hold on, which they should, because on here I actually picked Cincy. That'll help me. The Raiders cost me last night. Dallas cost me. So in this one, I am 30 and 6.
And you picked the Bengals. You picked the Bengals with me too. So
yeah. So that'll be better. And then I got to figure out. I don't know Dev's league. I'll find that out tomorrow. But I'm well above 500 in every league. It just this week was a little tough. So feel free to still raise picks. Ray doesn't have the heart to gamble anymore, but the record is the record. I was good last year. I'm good this year. Like it's just when I gamble, I lose. So quit. I can pick it if it don't count, but when I throw money at it, as soon as I put Dallas in the eliminated challenge, L. Like when it gets real, I don't know. But y'all have a good one. This has been a long close. Appreciate that. We will be back on Thursday. Y'all get some rest. Stay up. Stay hydrated. Enjoy this second half or this last half of the last quarter of the year. A lot of sports. Basketball will be back next month. College football is winding down. Boxing, we got some big fights out there. It is just a great time to be a sports fan and not a great time to be Matt Stafford, who got sacked again.
And he hurt. Oh,
his ego hurt. His body's a little bruised, but it is what it is. Y'all stay blessed. We out.
And the keys, tempo, hey time, let's go.
We bring that real talk when it comes to sports.